Welcome to Sandbox FOMO5 from Buro Happold. Each week we pick short snippets from our most recent episode for your listening pleasure. These quick listens could be valuable insights, thought-provoking elements, or even practical advice that will no doubt enrich your life and knowledge. Sandbox brings together curious individuals interested in a specific topic to discuss, dissect, and interrogate it. The style is conversational, with experts from Buro Happold and invited external guests who will add another angle to the narrative. Listeners are encouraged to gather around our podcast so that we can explore the latest advances in various fields and expand our collective horizons. Sometimes we'll tackle a subject head-on, sometimes a sideways view, but always with curiosity, expertise, and who knows, maybe even a dash of humour. Now, at this point, Gabriel and Graziano, I'd like to talk about the design sprint. Now, Buro Happold has recently conducted a sustainable travel design sprint on behalf of Bath and North East Somerset Council. Now, that sounds thoroughly energetic, but what exactly did it involve? Gabriel, I'll go to you first. What is a design sprint, particularly this one?
So a design sprint is a innovation and prototyping exercise that was originally developed by tech companies in the US to bring new products to market and to identify areas for improvement and get kind of all the different people involved in developing new products together. And at Buro Happold, We've taken this model and we've developed it for use with urban strategies and sustainability. And so we've conducted our first sustainable tourism design sprint with Bath and North East Somerset. And the way that it worked was we had a few months of doing research into sustainable tourism, into travel trends more broadly, into the economics and social makeup of Bath and North East Somerset, and thinking about it from lots of different lenses, and then thinking about who are the most important stakeholders, who needs to be involved in this discussion, what are the different timeframes. And so we got everyone together in a room, and over the course of, I think it was maybe like 6 or 7 hours, we had
6 hours, yeah.
6 hours. We had a very exciting and very productive conversation where we started the morning with blue sky thinking, something visionary statement as to what we would like tourism in Bath and North East Somerset to be. And then over the course of the day, we gradually took walks from that blue sky thinking through something more granular to, at the end of the day, produce a strategic roadmap for how that can be realized, and as part of that strategic roadmap, identified the key steps, when these steps should be taken and who should be involved in taking these steps.
Brilliant. Thank you, Gabriel. And Graziano, I'll go on to you then. What were some of these key findings? What are some of the headlines of your design sprint, your sustainable travel design sprint for Bath and North East Somerset?
Building on one of your first questions about the sustainable tourism and traveling, we discussed that, you don't only look at this through a single lens, and this is what we've done during the design sprints. We were looking at this issue through different topics. So we were looking at sustainable tourism through a governance perspective, to infrastructure perspective, an environmental one, a resource perspective, because we knew that the topic is so wide that you need some sort of more in-depth thinking in some of this category, and that was probably the best way to tackle some of the issue in each of these one. And each of these tables actually came up with some brilliant ideas. I mean, some recurring themes. We are trying to compile all this amount of information. It's quite a lot, to be honest. I mean, I've never seen so many sticky notes in a room, but yeah, really. But if you look from a very high level perspective, there is some sort of governance thing that needs to be in place to properly manage influx of tourism into a city, and that should somehow strategically planning all the other ones. So if you want to increase the number of tourists in your city, it means that you need additional infrastructure, but you don't just build an infrastructure without thinking about all the other repercussions on the city. And the same, if you want to increase the number of tourists within a city, or if you want to increase the offering that you have in a city in terms of food and beverage and hotels, hospitalities in general, you need to understand also that that's not just for the city center, but also for the area around the city center, the region around. So there are lots of things that can happen around the city. Sometimes it's good to have a sort of key themes for the city. So some people were suggesting, like, since we got the Roman bath, why don't we focus more on the wellness and health? So this one could be one of the key things that people could focus on, so we can sort of develop a sort of hospitality services and offering for these sort of things. But I mean, as this one, there were so many others, and to be honest, we are really right now we are going through all this information and we are trying to come up with a sort of outcome and final report.
Just listening to you both speaking about this, and think about what Lindsay said before about the individual targeting what is authentic and what is local. I guess there is an onus to an extent on those who make the big decisions of making it convenient, of making it easier. How do we? Is this a really big question panel? How do the decision makers make it possible for travellers to access that authenticity, that local experience conveniently? What are your thoughts? I'll go to Gabriel and Graziano first from your outcomes of the design sprint, and then Lindsay, I'll come on to you if that's okay. So what do you think, Gabriel and Graziano first?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to have something about authenticity, because it's sometimes too much authenticity is somehow killing a place. If you focus all your tourist offering on the authenticity, you're going to kill a place, because all the other things which are not 100% authentic, they're going to be sort of second tier things. I can give you the example of, for example, Naples. I mean, the authenticity, like, pizza, whatever. Right now, there are too many places offering pizza to tourists. It means that, all the area which were previously occupied by any other sort of services, like, I don't know, any other food and beverage activity or any other sort of shops, like even an hardware shop is now used for a pizzeria. So is that authenticity really helping the city? So again, you need to really balance the authenticity with the rest of the city and with the life of the normal people, because the tourist is looking for the authenticity, but probably the local residents are looking for the hardware shop because they need to do something at home.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Again, it comes back to balance. And Gabriel, what would you add to that?
I was thinking about physical infrastructure and digital infrastructure, if we can call it that. So physical infrastructure in terms of, in the case of Bath and North East Somerset, infrastructure to unlock the region's countryside. It's a beautiful part of England. And beyond Bath, there are so many interesting places to go and visit. When we were doing the research for this, I think I'm correct in saying it has the highest concentration in England of protected origin foodstuffs, the southwest of England. So I guess that kind of shows beyond Bath, it is a really interesting part of the country. But obviously, I'm sure you're aware, tourism and visitor numbers tend to be concentrated in Bath city centre. So how can you use physical infrastructure to unlock the rest of what the region has to offer? And how can we do that in a manner which benefits residents and visitors as well? The perception of the destination can go a long way in conjunction with physical infrastructure. And I think there is probably some cautionary tales from places like Prague and Amsterdam, which became quite well known as party destinations. And I've been to both of them. They're both wonderful cities, and their perception of the cities as party destinations massively overlooks what are two great European cities. And so I think one of my big takeaways was just that connection between physical infrastructure and how marketing and digital infrastructure can change the perception of a place.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick dip into our last episode of Sandbox. Don't forget to subscribe to follow the show. You'll find Sandbox in all the usual places, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buro Happold's YouTube channel, and on the Buro Happold website. What's more, if you want to join the conversation on X, known as Twitter to its old friends, use the hashtag BHSandbox. We'd love to hear from you on any of the topics discussed.